Survivor has been on for 22 years now, and with so many seasons and episodes, there have been times that the show leaves us with our eyes wide, mouths open, wondering what the heck is going on. These moments can be exhilarating and some can be so hard to watch. That's what today's video is all about. 5 times Survivor made our jaws drop, volume 3. Number 1. Not since the days of season 7 Pearl Islands has one player gone full villain in the way that Johnny Fairplay did. He purposely played with the intention to be the most hated player ever and succeeded at it. Others came after and were villains, but none were quite as large as Fairplay. That is until season 19, Samoa, when in the premiere episode we meet Russell Hantz, who, like Fairplay, did not stumble into being a villain, but purposely made choices to be the biggest villain of all time. This came as a shock to most fans watching live, as after the opening challenge, we go to the Foa beach where we meet Russell Hantz for the first time.
I didn't come here to work, I came here to play. My strategy is to be able to have a secret alliance with each one of these dumb girls. It is day 1 now. I got alliance with the dumb short hair blonde and the even dumber long hair blonde.
I'll trust you. So, do I have that same trust with you?
Yes. And the dark haired girl, I like to call it my dumbass girl alliance. It's just gonna be me and you.
All right.
I told him exactly the same thing. She could call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets. They'll run when I tell them to run. They'll walk when I tell them to walk. When I'm finished with them, just throw them in the trash.
Wowzers, this is our first time meeting him and Russell's already diving right off the deep end. But it gets better, or maybe worse depending on your point of view. That night he decides it's time to play psychological warfare on his own tribe, like some sort of deranged madman.
I figured I'd make it a little interesting for everybody when they wake up. I emptied all the water out of all the canteens. I plan on weeding out the weak right off the bat. I plan on making it as miserable as possible for everybody. I think if I can control how they feel, I can control how they think. I'm not here for the money. I'm only here to show people how easy it is to win this game.
You would think destroying other people's belongings would get you in trouble with the show, but this is all being painted in a mad genius sort of way by the show, so I guess they're encouraging it. Not even Fairplay went this far. But I failed to mention something he did just prior to this, something that I believe takes someone truly heartless to do.
I lived in New Orleans, right in St. Bernard Parish, right by the levee. The storm was a Category 5. When it hit, it broke the levee. I was in my house. I have a German Shepherd. His name was Rocky. I tried to get out the house, and I realized I wasn't going to make it. So I grabbed my axe, because as a fireman, one thing you learn is when you go in something, you have to be able to get out. By the time I got upstairs, the water was rushing in like,
Oh my God.
I look at Rocky, I couldn't even see him. It was muddy water. He's gone. I can't even find him.
Oh my God.
I never lived in New Orleans, and I'm not a fireman. I even never had a German Shepherd.
An animal lover, that was so hard for me to hear. And I don't know, it just kind of gets to you.
Yeah. He manipulates and uses that traumatic event and lies just to gain favor with his tribe. Now, Marisa catches on to Russell's antics, so he isn't fooling everyone, but she makes the error of telling him she doesn't trust him, and he runs off and tells everyone what she said while pretending to be the victim. And it works, believe it or not, and they all vote her out at the first tribal council.
If you play with fire, you'll get burned.
First person voted out of Survivor Samoa. Marisa. Marisa, the tribe has spoken.
By the way, this is just episode 1. There are 3 seasons with this guy, and he does not relent at all. But on the plus side, one of those quote unquote dumb girls beats him at his own game. Poetic justice at its finest. By the way, thank you for watching this channel and supporting it by liking and subscribing. If you want to help pick what videos I make and watch them all weeks and even months early, then consider financially supporting us on Patreon. It only costs a few bucks a month and you can cancel at any time. Thank you for your support. Number 2, let's time travel back to season 7 with the aforementioned Johnny Fairplay, the biggest villain of all time in my opinion before Russell Hantz. But why? What did he do that was so bad? Now, he did play ruthless, he lied constantly, and was heartless. Sounds a little bit familiar. He has gone on to proclaim this, and I will agree that basically he was playing up being a heel, someone who is a bad guy in wrestling. that kind of character. But the moment I believe that will always be remembered by the fans of the show comes at the family visit when Fairplay's buddy Dan comes out and...
Oh, dude, how's Clinton? Huh? How's Clinton? She died, dude. Did you get the letter?
John, you went from really happy to really sad.
It was either gonna be my buddy or my grandmother coming, and my grandmother's not here for a reason.
How can anyone be mad at Fairplay now? His grandma died, which is absolutely tragic. Everyone feels bad and is understandably sympathetic for Johnny, except Sandra for some reason.
First move.
Fairplay's buddy.
Dan, take one step back.
I mean, I have about 1 million questions I'd like to know about my grandmother, but obviously some people don't give a so. Sandra
It's not all about you all the time.
right.
His grandmother just died.
What a jerk. His grandmother just died and she's still targeting him. Those two have been fighting almost all game and now she looks like the bad guy. Thankfully, everyone else lets Fairplay win so we can talk with Dan and hear more about his grandmother's final days and what was written on that letter that he never got to see.
That was a brilliant performance, sir. Like that? Yeah, thank you. Did you like mine? My grandmother's sitting home watching Jerry Springer right now.
John called me before he left and was like, I've got to have any sort of leverage I possibly can. He said, outsmart and outthink. He's got to outplay everybody. And he's like, if you come down here, tell me my grandma died.
What? Are you telling me Fairplay tricked everyone into just handing him a reward win? Plus the rest of the season no one is the wiser? I mean, Sandra's suspicious, but Fairplay gets away with this and even uses his not dead grandma as a strategic move.
Swear on my grandmother. I swear, I swear, I swear. I swear on my grandmother. That's a big freaking deal. And I wouldn't break that. Krista made me swear on my grandmother's grave, and I was like, one of her last wishes was that I win.
Honestly, the move is hilarious in retrospect, something I can't say about what Russell did, especially when we meet his not dead grandma at the reunion, and she tells Jeff Probst, yeah, I had no idea this was happening until I watched it live on TV. Number 3, we move on to season 27, Blood vs. Water. Loved ones competing against each other in the game, specifically in this case, mother and daughter, Laura and Ciera. They are now deep into the merge game, and they're the only pair of loved ones left. The writing is on the wall. Now I know most of us hardcore superfans can't even remember this event, which is why I'm bringing up in this video so we can all finally remember what happened. Because it never gets mentioned again, which I find weird. Jeff usually loves to bring up big events, but this one he just never mentions again. It's strange in my opinion. So hopefully we can all track this and stay together and understand the logistics of this wild and crazy move. If Laura gets voted out, then that furthers Ciera's game. Oh, never mind, that was super easy. But the big question is if Ciera is willing to make this daring move.
I love her and I want to go as far as I can with my mom. But on the same hand, if my mom needs to go,
Let's head back.
in order for me to win the game, she needs to go because I have a better shot of winning than she does.
Oh, cool. She tries explaining this to Laura and her mom is just like not getting it. Why can't they just both be in the final 3, she wonders. But regardless, tears are shed, hearts are touched, and at Tribal Council, the biggest, most emotional move in all of Survivor history takes place.
11th person voted out of Survivor Blood versus Water. Laura, that's 5, that's enough. Laura, for the second time, the tribe has spoken.
By itself, this seems like a big move and even a cool one, but a jaw-dropping moment? Hardly. Well, what if I told you that for years, Jeff cannot get over this? He can't even say Ciera's name without mentioning it. It's out of line.
But Ciera's alliance, the Tadhana 5, came up with a plan to break up her and her mom. But the pressure of voting out her mom was taking its toll. At Tribal Council, Ciera made the toughest and most emotional vote of the season, voting out her mom.
So Laura, the last vote we showed at Tribal said mom. Ciera voted you out of this game. She voted her mom out.
Ciera, this newcomer started slow, but quickly became a force in the game, even voting out her mom to get this close to the end. Knowing couples were a target, Ciera made the biggest and most emotional move the game of Survivor has ever seen. She voted out her mom to further herself in the game.
Ciera, 2 of the biggest moves this season were made by you. You fulfilled the promise of Blood versus Water when you voted out your mom.
1 year ago, Survivor Blood vs. Water pitted loved ones against each other, testing the core of human emotion in a way we'd never experienced before.
11th person voted out of Survivor Blood versus Water. Laura.
Voting out her mom. Ciera from Blood vs. Water. Ciera, this lovely little woman, voted out her mom.
Unfortunately, that had to start with voting my mom out. I love you. And this time, I want to be fearless.
You fulfilled the promise of Blood vs. Water when you voted out your mom.
That's not even all the moments, that's just the ones I could easily find off the top of my head. She even ends up on a season called Game Changers simply due to her voting out her own birth mother. Number 4. Let's go back to season 8, Survivor All-Stars, where we take a look at the Ciera tribe as two people instantly connect and fall in love. That's right, I'm talking about the infamous Boston Rob and Amber love connection. On day 1 between these two, this happens.
What do you think? You want to make an alliance?
I don't know if I can take you seriously or not.
I'm being 100% serious.
Right.
All right?
All right.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Rob and Amber were laying on the thing, kind of getting a romantic mood.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it. I don't know when, but they're gonna do it.
Now, for most showmances, this amounts to nothing. In fact, showmances fall apart all the time. But for Rob and Amber, they run this game with an iron fist. Him being the brawn and her being the empathetic brains. That is until a fateful tribe swap lands her with the enemy and she is without Rob. So he takes it in his own hands to abuse a pre-game alliance he has with Lex.
If you can. As soon as we merged, Lex comes running over to me. Rob, make me feel comfortable. Tell me that I'm safe.
I can't even believe what I'm hearing.
Let me tell you something right now. That was not a game or strategy decision.
It wasn't a strategy decision. You have nothing to be angry about.
And I did that just because you're my friend.
Well, I'm making the deal, save Amber, and I'm gonna help you later on. You guys didn't really believe that, did you? Come on.
Harsh, but this does not deter Rob and Amber, it only makes them stronger. But their love blossoms over the course of the season, and by the end, Jeff's actually questioning if this is all just a game move. Even Rob says, I don't know if Amber's playing me, actually. So at the reunion, before the votes are revealed to see who won,
I love you with all my heart. Will you marry me?
their love story wins over the hearts of America and pretty much makes everyone forget about all the wrongdoings they did in the season because they were complete villains. Most people don't even care that Amber is actually the one who wins the season in a surprise 4-3 upset. They're still married to this day with 4 kids, and I have a movie-length video all about their lives from the season until today, link in the description. Number 5. Now keep Rob and Amber in mind as we move on to season 22, Redemption Island, the season that Boston Rob wins quite handily, which is all the more impressive when we see how he basically did what he did in All-Stars but without any help from Amber. He ruthlessly controls the game and eliminates the opposition without a second thought. That includes David in episode 9, so bear with me here as I promise this is all relevant. If we circle back 4 seasons to Token Chains, an attractive woman named Carolina Eastwood played and was voted out in episode 1. Nothing special about either of these people except that they start dating after David plays on Redemption Island, and we move on to the live reunion show where near the end of it, Jeff says,
"And I heard a rumor that I'd like to investigate quickly that there is another love affair." Who is it?
It's Carolina, who's sitting right over here in the second row.
Carolina Eastwood from Token Chains.
Now clearly Jeff knows that something is planned here. He isn't asking because he just read some rumor online, but David plays it cool and wastes so much live TV time that Jeff keeps trying to prompt him come on, let's do the thing we talked about, please, please, please. And then after multiple attempts, David finally goes for the gusto.
You challenge me.
Shut it down right now. Shut it down.
So will you marry me, please?
Survivor loves blindsiding me. Yes. Oh my God, yes. Wow. Oh God.
Unlike when Rob proposed to Amber, who by the way is right there watching this whole proposal take place, this is painfully awkward, and clearly Carolina does not want this to happen. Talk about a blindside. So we know Rob and Amber are still happily married to this day, but what about David and Carolina? They break up 1 year later when David was caught cheating with Alicia from Survivor One World. Fun, what a sweet, sweet ending. So what jaw-dropping moments in Survivor history should make it into the next volume? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.